It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Tuesday, the 29th of April. I'm Michael Groff. We are in the midst of a warming trend here in the valley. Temperatures near average today, above average for the rest of the week and heading toward the weekend. But a big pattern change is lurking out there toward the end of the weekend and into early next week with another powerful storm system moving across the west. And that will bring windy conditions, some increase in clouds. The big story will obviously be the much cooler temperatures here. Afternoon highs could be anywhere from 15 to as much as 20 degrees below average in some locations. The other question mark surrounding this that people want to know is, will we see any precipitation? Well, we'll talk about that and everything else too as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday. Not a bad day for late April. 82 degrees was the afternoon high for your Monday, 59, that refreshing morning low. That's certainly below those averages of 89 and 64, and nowhere close to that record high of 104 degrees, fortunately, outside right now. Here after 11 o'clock at 11:15 a.m., we've got some high clouds out there right now. Some very thin cirrus lurking around, and it's 79 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point's 32, humidity 18%, a light wind, and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the west, and you'll notice there's a little spin in the clouds across northern Arizona and over the southwest. We have this little disturbance that's lurking around just to the north and west of us, and that's not going to be doing very much in terms of sensible weather, at least not in southern Arizona. Maybe just a few high clouds around. But over the northern part of the state, we might see an isolated shower or even a rumble of thunder this afternoon. Now, that's probably not going to amount to a whole lot in terms of measurable rain. Mostly dry thunderstorms with gusty winds or maybe a brief shower. But we do have to worry about the possibility of an isolated lightning strike or two up there. And that's kind of the worst case scenario because that could obviously touch off a wildfire. So we will watch that for this afternoon. Other than that, though, things will be fairly quiet as high pressure is more or less the dominant feature out here in the west and will be for the next few days. But we do have these little upper lows or these weak little disturbances that are going to linger around the southwest, kind of undercutting that ridge. And so that should keep us with temperatures maybe a degree or three lower than they otherwise would be, and occasional cloudiness. All right, the watch warning map, we've got some flood watches for parts of North Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch in southeast Missouri and far southern Illinois, as well as over central and southern Ohio. Got kind of a frontal boundary there, and that's why we have these severe thunderstorm watches. Of course, last night, pretty active night across parts of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. And really over the plain states, we had a number of showers and storms. And yes, that heavy rain that's still ongoing in parts of the plains as well. Of course, for us, things are very quiet. The watch or the convective outlook for today, we've got the enhanced risk of severe storms, level 3 out of 5, parts of West Texas and Oklahoma, as well as southern Indiana, Kentucky, up to around Cincinnati, Columbus, Ohio, Pittsburgh, and pretty close to Buffalo, New York, that threat for severe storms. And yeah, we could see some isolated tornadoes there today. Obviously, the threat for large hail and strong damaging straight line winds in those areas as well. That broader severe weather risk really from West Texas all the way up into New England. So an elongated threat for storms. And again, across northern Arizona, around the Four Corners region today, there could be some thunder. It probably doesn't amount to a whole lot in terms of precipitation, but don't be surprised if you're up there today. Maybe you run into a couple of thunder, rumbles of thunder, and maybe just some very brief showers, but probably not much in terms of measurable rain. And speaking of that, the precipitation outlook valid through Tuesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing statewide. Could see generally under a tenth or 2/10 of an inch across parts of northern Arizona. And that's mainly out toward the end of this period, toward the Sunday and Monday time frame. And we're going to talk about that and some of the question marks surrounding what's going to happen this weekend as we get to the models right now. Take a look at things, see what's happening. This is the GFS, the 12Z run, and it's valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. This is the upper look at 18,000 feet off the ground, 500 millibars. And it's the same old story. We've got that frontal boundary across the plains and the Midwest. We've got this little upper low still over the Southwest that's spinning around. High pressure is building in off the Pacific Northwest coast. What it means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, we have some high clouds around, but we'll still call it mostly sunny. High temperatures this afternoon, a bit warmer than yesterday, mid to upper 80s, and that's pretty close to where we ought to be for this time of year. The average high of 89 degrees. An isolated shower or thunderstorm for northern Arizona up toward the northeastern part of the state, the Four Corners region. But again, in terms of measurable rain, probably not much, if anything. For tonight, the sky is clear. Overnight lows will generally be in the 50s in most of the city. Of course, low 60s for the urban core. Tomorrow, sunny, a bit warmer. High temperatures topping out in the upper 80s and low 90s. Here's Thursday, partly cloudy, upper 80s, low 90s. As we go to Friday, still in the upper 80s to low 90s, a few clouds around, but otherwise I think we're mostly sunny. Saturday is where the weather pattern starts to change. An upper low is diving in across the west and taking aim toward the California coast and the Great Basin and moving southeastward. And as that happens, we're going to start to see the pressure gradient tightening up here over Arizona. So we'll be mostly sunny, maybe a few clouds coming in later. But for the most part, we'll be dry on Saturday, but the winds should increase. We'll at least turn breezy by the afternoon, but still warm with high temperatures somewhere in the upper 80s to low 90s. Now, on Sunday, that system enters the southwestern United States. This is a pretty strong system for this time of year. A lot of cold air aloft with it. Now, the one thing it's lacking this far south is moisture. A little bit of moisture will be advected, but the majority of the moisture is to the north of us. It's across Nevada and the Sierra and the Wasatch of Utah, northward up toward Idaho and Montana and Wyoming, and that's where you'll find the rain and the higher elevation snow. However, here in Arizona, we could see some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across northern Arizona, maybe even into central Arizona. The snow level probably still up there around 8,000 feet. And here in southern Arizona, we just don't have any rain in the forecast right now. The chance of rain is not mathematically zero, but it's pretty close. It's not at that threshold where we would put it into a forecast. And generally speaking, we need 10% rain probabilities before we start mentioning that in a forecast. And so for Sunday, yeah, it'll be mostly sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, much cooler, high temperatures, mid 70s to about 80. That system is going to start to move east on Monday. And again, we might see a couple of showers across northern Arizona. Here in the valley, partly cloudy, breezy. This should be the coolest day of the forecast period, and in all probability, the coolest day that we see until sometime in the fall, with high temperatures likely only in the lower to middle 70s. Should be an absolutely gorgeous day next Monday. Sunday and Monday are actually looking terrific. But it's May in Phoenix, and we all know what happens after that. The warmth is coming back. This is a week from today, Tuesday, the 6th. And that system is going to start to head on out, dry northwesterly flow in its wake. Temperatures will begin a rebound back toward the low 80s, I suspect, here, and then going out 10 days to Thursday, the 8th of May. And ridging is going to start to build in, and as it does, we heat up, and I think highs would get back toward 90 degrees or so right about that time. So we'll see temperatures returning to where they ought to be not too long after that system comes through. And will there be any more of those systems after that? Well, we'll have to see. But right now, indications are that ridging will probably be the more likely outcome as we go further into the month of May. All right, checking out precipitation. Rainfall here for Phoenix. This goes out through the 13th of the month. It's off the GFS ensemble, and for the most part, no real meaningful chances of precipitation. European ensemble through the same period, through the 13th. Yeah, the ensemble mean remains fairly low. Generally just a couple hundredths of an inch. Control members a little higher than that, but again, only a few, or only, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10, 11 members of the 51 in the European ensemble show any probability of precipitation. So right now, doesn't look very favorable for any rain, and it shouldn't really. This is the dry season after all, the 3 driest months of the year, April, May, and June. And historically speaking, the driest part of the dry season is coming up. About the 15th of May through the 15th of June, historically speaking, is the absolute driest time historically here in Phoenix. All right, checking out temperatures off the National Blend of Models. Obviously, we're going to warm it up for the rest of the week and heading into the weekend with highs likely in the low 90s. We might even touch the mid 90s in the hottest desert spots, and then we'll cool it off pretty dramatically Sunday, Monday, before we see the rebound in temperatures by the middle and latter portion of next week. And we love to see highs in the 70s in the month of May. You just can't beat that. All right, let's check out the Climate Prediction Center outlook, the CPC outlook for the period of May 8th or May 6th through the 12th. This is the 8 to 14 day period. These are temperatures. If this is correct, temperatures around here for most of Arizona will be near seasonal averages. Probability says more than likely will be near seasonal averages, and precipitation near average to maybe slightly skewed toward above average, depending on where you are in the state. For us here in Phoenix, right around seasonal averages in terms of precipitation, which means not much. So near normal temperatures, near normal precipitation. And really, considering what we could be seeing this time of year, I guess we'll take it. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make those monetary contributions to us, help support the channel, or you can go directly to us, donate directly to us via PayPal. Groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out, her blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, and quite possibly, and more than likely, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description. So check all of that out. Yes. Michelle has a few videos on her YouTube channel, but really Adriana's the star of that channel for sure, with by sheer volume of videos. A lot of shorts, Adriana's always up to stuff. So her and her friends, you can just see what antics Adriana's up to. So check all that out. Plus, on top of that, our multimedia empire extends to our streaming station. Yes, we also have a broadcast or a streaming station that you guys can check out. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that over there. The most chaotic mix of music you will ever hear. So I invite you to give that a listen as well. Again, it's linked up in the description, or you can go to kmgx.com and listen directly via that way. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Tuesday.